Hey everyone, this is Don with My Crypto Playground. Thanks again for joining me on my channel. I've been on a roll today as far as doing some Pangolin videos, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to give another update. Except this time I want to give you an update on my SuperFarms for the last month. It's been going over, been about like, I got a BBPSB SuperFarm when that first came out. That was 33 days ago. And then the Flare PFL that started pretty much the day after. So before we get started, just want to let you guys know, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just showing you what I'm doing with mine. And if you like this content, guys, subscribe to my channel and also follow me. So I started this Pangolin SuperFarm back on, actually, let me get to another, there it is. So let me zoom in. So for this, I started on January 9th, and I had the pool value at the time was $9,400. So I had put in 292,000 SGB, and I also swapped out and I got 200,000 PSB to pair up with it. Now, if I just show you guys here. So at the time, actually, let me scooch over here. That's not working. There we go. So at the time, let's see, SGB price was at 0.016 and then PSB was at 0.02. The fun part, quote unquote fun part about this was like literally the day after this pool started, or the farm started, and you can see here the next day on 110, prices just tanked. I lost some value in this pool, probably about 25% value on it, because let's just see here. And then, by the way, if you have any questions about how I'm doing this, my spreadsheet, like, oh, I don't even know how to start telling you because I can't even dissect it myself, but it works for me. But so right here is, if you could see, oh, here's my little arrow right here. So as you can see here, SGB from on day one dropped 24%, and then PSB dropped 29%. So let's just forward to today, or actually just over the course of the next 33 days. As you guys can see, I've gone from $9,400 starting off to, I think it went as low as $49.60, which is, let's see, what day was that when it was $49.60? Actually $47.60, that's what it was on 19th. So yeah, I was down 44% on this, but just because, even though it was down 44%, you could see B price was down 35% and PSB was down 61%. And to dissect that a little bit more, so I have here on that day when I first got into the pool, it was 1.46 SGB to 1 PSB. Let me go over there. Yeah, there it is. 1.46 SGB to PSB. And then, like I said, when it came down that low, it went all the way down to as low as, yeah, right there, 0.89 SGB per PSB. Now, for context, we were actually at its highest maybe 3 months ago when Pangolin first came out. Yeah, this was like 4 Songbird to 1 PSB. So, look, market's down, everything's down right now, so all I can do is just hang in there, because it's all sunshine and rainbows. Because even though with all of this going on, I am still, my average APR right now, or the APR that I started off with, it was like at 233%, and then it just fluctuates down from 233 to 234 today, and then stays in that general area. But as you can see here, I keep track of how much PSB and SGB I am accumulating along the way. So on the first day, 2400 PSB, And then as you can see, as I keep going down, I am slowly accumulating a lot. As you can see here, it's all the way down to 211 today. Actually, no, I messed up on that. It's actually 210. I shouldn't have put it down on that particular row, but yeah, as of today, I am at, let me show you guys here. Yeah, I have accumulated, I have 71,000 unclaimed PSB and 1,000 unclaimed Songbird. And I'm averaging 33.53 Songbird per week on top of the PSB that I'm getting. So look, if you look at that across the board here, I can show you on my spreadsheet my average daily reward for this farm, and not having compounded or anything, I'm just leaving it the way it is about $27 per day. So yeah, guys, I'm actually okay with that. I even have an impermanent loss tracker as well to kind of let me know where I am on it. And then I actually have it to where I was tracking two different types of impermanent loss for myself. And one was like when I first, like right here, this is where I started with like 292,000 SGB and 200,000 PSB. If I would have just held on to that and not put it into this farm, I'm up regardless. So after 33 days, I'm up over $1,000 just from, oh, sorry, can't see that right there. Yep. I'm up over $1,000 just from being in this pool. And then, by the way, y'all, I use the terms pool and farm interchangeably, so let's not try to get too technical here. And then now I have this other columns here that what I actually started with before I swapped out into the 200,000 PSB was I had 471,000 SGB and 77,000 PSB, and so I traded in and swapped out some of the SGB to get to my 200,000 PSB. So looking at that right there, it took me about, let's see here, it's going down until this day right here where I was finally up 65 bucks, and that was like 25 days in. There's really no impermanent loss. We're up 277 regardless, even if I didn't get into it. So this was a good idea to get into this farm. And then lastly, I have this little column right here where I have this total SGB if I swapped it out. So at this particular time, like when I first started, I actually had 584,000 PSB. So that's what that was 292 PSB times 2, which is, or not, 292,000 SGB times 2. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place here. But yeah, that's it. And so what I have here on this side, and that should not be there. And the whole goal of being in these farms and doing all these liquidity pools is to earn more SGB. So I have this chart right here, or this column that tells me, look, if I were to cash out, if I were to get out of the pool right now, liquidate my PSB, how much SGB would I have earned from doing this? And then for right now, I'm still down. So that's why I'm not getting out of this, because I'm not getting out of this because it's literally, I'm still down. Like I can't, if I were to take all of my rewards plus the current underlying PSB and SGB that I have, it would only give me like 565,000, which is still way less than the 584 I started off with. So yesterday was a good day. I was close to breaking even yesterday. So listen, y'all, it's really, all of this is just a matter of time. I am staying in this for as long as it's around. I think this thing is going to be for like at least another month or so. I think this was 60 days for the SuperFarm, but I think it even goes longer. I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah. But based on this right now, because look, I played around with the numbers a little bit, and if, let me just copy this right here. If I took the current price of Songbird and PSB today, if it was the same as when I got in a month ago, I would be up 32% on this pool and be up $30,000. So that's not a bad, that wouldn't be a bad return. But in this case right here, listen, I am just gonna keep stacking my PSB and my SGB, and then look, I'm bullish on the network. I love what they're doing. I love what Pangolin's doing. I love that they're starting everything off here on Songbird and then putting it on Flare, because Flare was so much easier. It was very profitable too. I wish I would have stayed in it longer. And in fact, let's jump to that right now. Let's go over here. Okay, I did a SuperFarm as well for FLR and PFL. And so for this particular one, and I can't get to zoom in and out of this one. Let me just get out of here. All right, so this one I started on 110, and this is the day that it actually it launched. So I put in a little under $500 into this particular SuperFarm, and at the time, Flare was 4 cents, and PFL was 0.07 cents. And as you can see, just like with the previous SuperFarm, the next day, yeah, it totally tanked. So it went down to literally, let me see how much that went down. Let's see here if I can see that. There it is. So on day 2, the price of Flare actually went up 14%, but then the price of PFL went down 66%, as you can see here. And that's just, yeah, that was crazy. You know what? So what do? We just hang in there, because our percentage rate was very high just from getting in. So it was at 1200% when I got in. So listen, I just stayed in, and as you can see, we're accumulating a lot of rewards for this. Like every day, first day, 68 Flare, 150 the next day, 203. Like, it's getting bigger and bigger until finally, like 2 weeks into it, I decided to compound and add more, because I'd already accumulated 2,200 PFL, which is pretty much the same amount that I started with 2 weeks before. So anyway, fast forward down now. 31 days later, I am at about $950. It's gone down a little bit, but my percentage rate's gone down a little bit, because obviously I think more people have gotten into this pool. But at the end of the day, look, I have 2,000 Flare that I've been rewarded, and then that one I'm not claiming at all, so that's why my percentage is still pretty high. And then that percentage, even though it goes down, it's actually still really high, because I have compounded twice already. So what happens is it goes from 1040, then it dropped to 620. Now it didn't drop to 620, that's just what it shows, because my initial $458, or this initial amount right here, is still getting 1040. What I added is started off at 0, and this is kind of like the average of it. So scroll down a little bit more. I did the same thing. It dropped from 728 to 547, even though it didn't really drop. It just shows like it dropped. But like I said, I'm averaging per day. Actually, yeah, I'm actually getting around probably an average of 65 Flare and 32 PFL per day, which is pretty good. And let me see if I can go down here. Yeah, so you know what? End of the day, right now, where I am on this particular farm, this thing I'm getting an average of $13 per day. And if I were to get out of this pool and swap out all of it for flare, I would be up, or I would have earned an extra 9,000 flare just from being in this pool for 31 days. I'd say that's pretty good considering I only started off with 11,000. So to almost double the amount of flare I've had, that's way better than delegating. So yeah, it was bumpy and bruised. There were some bumps and bruises along the way there, but I think it was worth it. Like I said, I don't mean to sound like a shill for Pangolin, but they're the best thing going on right now on Songbird and also on Flare. And for those of you guys that hold H-bar, Pangolin DEX is also on there, and they started their Sunshine and Rainbows, and yeah, I'm on that one too as well. And yeah, that one's kicking ass a lot. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I know I've rambled on all over the place, but just to let you know, this is what my experience has been the last month on Pangolin, on the SuperFarms, on Flare, and on Songbirds. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And then, like I said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.